Shakira, Selma Hayek, Milton Hatoum, Carlos Slim, not to mention numerous heads of state in Latin America and the Caribbean. Have you ever wondered about the origins of these personalities of Lebanese, Palestinian, or Syrian descent? Yet there are more than 20 million people of Arab origin out of a total population of over 652 million in the region. Where do their parents and grandparents come from? And under what conditions did they immigrate? How can we deploy, popularize, and disseminate knowledge about this history to help us further develop mechanisms of solidarity and social justice? This is the aim of the Arab Latinos Initiative, launched by UNESCO's Social and Human Sciences sector.
Safa Jubran, welcome to the Arab Latinos podcast. How would you introduce yourself?
Thank you. I am a professor and researcher. I teach at the University of São Paulo in Brazil. I immigrated to Brazil from Lebanon when I was about 20 years old. So I decided to complete my studies, interrupted by the war in the early 80s. So I worked hard and did everything necessary to learn and master Portuguese so I could take the needed exams to join the university. So after I concluded my undergrad studies, I went ahead and obtained a master and a PhD degrees. And my research then was in linguistics, especially in phonology, and always comparing both languages, Arabic and Portuguese. After the PhD, I changed my path of research and went to the field of history of science and worked on old Arabic manuscripts, and I have several papers and books published on that. But after all this, again, I turned my attention and research to the translation of literature in theory and practice. And for more than 20 years, I have been supervising the work of students in translations. And I run a group at the university called Tarjama, which is translation. During our weekly meetings, we work on the difficulties of translation and the challenges that we may encounter. In addition, I have translated several books of modern and contemporary Arabic literature into Brazilian Portuguese, and still working on that.
So you're one of the Arab Latinos experts. How does your expertise contribute to UNESCO's initiative?
Yeah, that's true. And I am honored to be part of this project. As for my contribution, I guess it is the result of my experience as a teacher of Arabic language and Arabic literature, and as a translator of Arabic literature into Portuguese. I honestly believe that literature, like all arts, and as a cultural product in circulation as well, especially translations, builds bridges between languages and cultures, and thus promotes the dialogue between them. Therefore, I focus on the important role that literature and translated literature play in bringing people closer together. My contribution to this UNESCO initiative is that I feel like I can be the link between these cultures through literature, and the translated literature would be the mediator. Especially because the idea depends on direct translation between the countries of so-called Global South, without first passing through the North, and what the North would like and prefer to translate, since the reader in the North doesn't need to be the same as the reader in the South. So by focusing on the issue of translation heading directly from South to South is important because it agrees with the larger idea of the project, the Arab Latinos project as a whole, which aims originally to promote solidarity between the countries of the South.
And therefore, can you concretely explain us the significant role that literature and translated literature can play in raising awareness on the Arabic imprints in Latin America and the Caribbean, and vice versa?
Yes. In my opinion, literature and translated literature play a big and important role in strengthening this awareness in many ways. I will focus on some points only and will start by saying that literature promotes empathy. How? By offering readers different perspectives and experiences. They got to know characters from different backgrounds. This can increase empathy and understanding between people, bring them closer together, and contribute to limit discrimination. I want to give you an example from a book from Arabic literature, The Tiller of Waters by Huda Barakat. This novel shows us the life of Lebanese people from all religious sects entangled with other peoples and nationalities such as Kurds, Egyptians, Greek, and Armenians. The second point is that literature brings to us the marginalized voices, which are usually not heard, because it focuses on their experiences, challenges, achievements, and on the issues such as discrimination and racism. The example I want to give you is it from the book The Season of Migration to the North by the Sudanese writer Tayyib Saleh, which present us topics such as colonialism and post-colonialism and consequences, cultural clashes, dehumanization of people, but also we can hear the voice of the marginalized character loud and clear. On the other hand, literature helps to deconstruct stereotypes because it sometimes challenges them and challenges preconceptions when we are presented to characters who live in a complex and realistic way. This helps to combat the simplistic and distorted views of ethnic, cultural, social, and other groups. I want to give you also an example from Arabic literature. The novel The Bird Tattoo by the Iraqi writer and poet Dunya Mikhail, in which we have the story of the oppressed Yazidi people, especially women. And the fourth point is that literature helps us to shape historical and social awareness. Although it's not the main task of literature to do this, but it allows us to understand historical events, cultural contexts, social issues such as conflicts and wars. The novels by the Lebanese writer Ilyas Khouri, for example, My Name is Adam, it tells us about things that history has not told or mentioned regarding the displacement of Palestinians, as well as his novel Yalo about the civil war in Lebanon and the subsequent issues. Therefore, if literature can contribute to all these things, translated literature is the only way to communicate all these things to different audiences all over the world. Direct communication and direct translation is a bridge that brings people closer together, influences each other, and leaves their imprints on each other.
Thank you, Safa. Then, how UNESCO could further work towards social justice through the promotion of cultural diversity and exchanges? What would be your recommendation?
Well, promoting social justice through the promotion of cultural diversity and exchanges is a task, a work that requires big changes in social attitudes, policies, and practices. I mean, to talk from the point of view of literature and translated literature when UNESCO adopts projects such as the Arab Latinos project, and through the mechanism it has and the capabilities contributes to encouraging, promoting, supporting, publishing, and circulating literary books, so that they reach a larger number of people. When we hear diverse voices and narratives that we have not heard or had the chance to hear before, I think that we are starting to walk on the road to social justice. In my opinion, UNESCO has an effective and important role to play in achieving this justice.
Thank you so much, Safa Jubran.